We can debate the rules about food and food advertising and taxes all night, but to me it comes down to this. Who owns our bodies? Do we get to decide what we eat, or does the government decide? Public health officials act like it's just reasonable that in public places they get to set the rules. Here's what an American Heart Association official said when California banned trans fat this month.
If you want to cook something at home, go ahead. But when you go out in a public environment, I think you have a right to expect that the government is going to protect you. And I think that's what the governor has done today.
But government protecting me often means taking away my choices. I did a little experiment with my studio audience before this show. We put out some food in the waiting room. 6 trays. 3 were healthy, fresh food and vegetables. 3 were filled with donuts, muffins, and eclairs. What the audience didn't know is that we were filming their food choices. Which tray do you think most people ate from? No surprise, many people went for the so-called junk food. All right, well, the food police would say they made the wrong choice. But what gives them the right to decide for us? This is especially relevant given the move toward government-run health care, because if government pays for your health care, then they can say, we have a stake in what you eat. Where will that end? I can hear the bureaucrats now. If we're paying for your treatment, then you cannot eat that donut. In fact, we're going to have government exercise police come to your house and make sure you run laps and do push-ups. Sounds silly, but these days, is it? We should be responsible for ourselves. We own our bodies. We ought to be in charge of what we put in them. Government shouldn't treat us like stupid children, but government does.
We know that trans fat is toxic.
Take the war on trans fats. First, scaremongers tell you about the latest theories.
Trans fats do contribute to between 6 and 22% of heart disease deaths in this country.
Then activists rally to get the government to ban the food.
They want to try to get everybody trans fat free.
Lawyers sued to force companies to change their food. Usually it's to save the children.
This is a children's lawsuit. This is not about adults. This is about what is being fed to the kids.
Then they get their laws passed. But what about those of us who don't have a cholesterol problem? The trans fats improve taste. They increase the shelf life of food. They're cheap. The ingredients that get substituted cost more, and who knows, they may turn out to be worse. There are only 2 ways to do things in life: voluntary or force. Government is force. We need some government force to keep us safe. But government is a dangerous master. That's why the founders talked so much about limited government. Given the choice between force or voluntary action, voluntary is better. Americans already have access to tons of information about what kind of food is good for us. There are 1,000 websites like this one called "This is Why You're Fat" that remind us of the obvious. If you eat this stuff often, you'll get fat. We know this. Why isn't that good enough for the prohibitionists? Why must they force everyone to do or not do certain things? The prohibitionists say government must protect consumers. I think it's more important to protect us from the government. That actually is a quote from Nobel Prize-winning economist Milton Friedman. Years ago, he wrote this about the government's desire to protect us from things that are bad. He said, "Let us give us the information, but let it leave us free to choose what chances we want to take with our own lives." Dr. Friedman was right. And today, thanks to the internet, we don't even need government to give us the information. It's out there. We mostly need government to leave us alone. So thanks for watching. For more, go to my website, johnstossel.com. See you next week, and good